Oh, I think we're in.
We're live.
I think we're live. We're live, pal.
What a skepticism of people. I got to do this again.
Well, this is a first. We've gone live on the Pro Wrestling Roller.
Yeah, and probably the only time we're doing it.
This could be the very last time we ever do it. Let's have a look and see. Is this mic working?
Hey, it's working.
All right. Well, it's all good so far. So
yeah,
so far so good. Everybody, welcome to the Pro Wrestling Roll-Up. This is TMOF Wrestling. I am Russ.
I'm Ash.
And we are going to talk about a few different things today.
Yes. Shall we start off with the big thing we got to announce?
What's the big thing we got to announce?
We're going all in.
Yeah, we are actually, yeah.
Anyway.
Yes, that's that. Yeah, we're going to talk about All In. We've got our tickets. We are all in.
We are all in. We're going to Wembley.
Yes, we are indeed. But the question is are we going to go to Money in the Bank?
I'd like to think we could if the ticket prices are correct.
If they're correct?
Yes.
Why would they not be correct?
Because they're like 250 quid.
They're a lot of money. We'll also be talking a little bit about Backlash. Obviously, it's old news now. We don't talk about old news unless we decide we're going to talk about old news. We are going to talk about old news, but we'll try not to hammer on about it.
We'll try not to, but we will. We will.
We're also going to talk about AEW's announced new show that will be airing on Saturday. I think it will be live, won't it? Every Saturday, Collision.
Yeah. It's because it starts on the 17th of June.
Yes, it does.
Day after my birthday. So now you know my birthday.
Is that meant to be a plug? Or
yes.
No one gives a crap about your birthday. I nearly swore. We're not going to swear. We're going to keep this really clean.
Yes.
Maybe.
We'll see.
As a show, yeah, well, you can. As the show goes on, comments are on this first time we're live, so this is all new to us. So we're going to be experimenting as we go along with this one. Do feel free to pop along some comments. We'll read them out. Any questions, any abuse, we'll be sure to read it all out.
You definitely
for anybody. But yeah, well, let's go through it then. So for everybody joining us today, if you are a returning listener or watcher, thank you very much for joining us. If you're a new listener or watcher, thank you very much for joining us. Love to have you along.
Yeah.
Right, let's go into it then. So All In, we got the tickets. When it's first announced, Tony Khan obviously announced that we knew that AEW were going to be coming to the UK initially in 2020. Was supposed to be the original plan.
Yeah, what was it? Full Gear.
Was it meant to be Full Gear? I thought it was meant to be one of those like specials that they did. You know, like the
right.
Not like Road Rages, but like those sort of things. And the original, I think, thought process was it was going to be Craven's Cottage, which of course is the home grounds for Fulham, who the Khan family owns.
Yes.
I'm glad that they haven't gone for that because that's kind of a pain in the arse to get to.
Yeah, it would have been a nightmare to get tickets for because it's only like 25,000 around that.
25,000, but that is what you probably imagine AEW would have, right? So
yeah, they've gone big.
They've gone really big, and it looks as though it's paying off. So nobody would have thought, obviously, you know, with everything that happened in 2020, it all got shelved. We heard nothing about it in 21, nothing about it 22, until all of a sudden, here we are. Wembley Stadium, 90,000, essentially. Roundabouts, including the floor seats and everything else. But big stadium. It's the capacity is much more than Principality Stadium, which is obviously where WWE housed Clash at the Castle last year,
which we went to.
Which we did.
I was there. Were you there?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, well, I was a bit closer than you.
Yeah, you were.
We got there eventually.
Yeah. Well, you did. I got there way too early.
Yeah, you was there very early. We got there pretty much as it was starting, so that was that. But yeah, this is it's a lot easier to get to Wembley for at least for us. You know, you got the train to get straight there. The location's great. Wembley Stadium, though, it's mad that AEW's been able to almost sell out. What are the tickets at the moment?
Was it 70, 60 odd, 65,000?
It's pushing 70,000, I think, as of right now. Obviously, right now being 17th of May. So we've still got a couple months to go as well. I really can see them selling it out.
It was 3 months. It's late August.
Yeah, I reckon they will.
The way they've gone about it with the speed that these tickets have gone, I will think it will be a big sellout.
Yeah.
How many of it is America or the rest of the world? Don't know. But
I imagine there's some people that might come around. It's like we always joke about, you see some of the guys that go to the WWE shows, right?
Yes.
No matter what show you watch, there's always like the same one or two guys that are always in the same sort of seat for every show. You always get them.
when it was Puerto Rico or Backlash, the green shirt guy that goes to every WWE show was there, and everyone made a big deal out of it because everyone thought it'd be like 100% Puerto Rico or Spanish-speaking crowd. But no, I think there was.
Well, it was largely, but yeah. You're going to have, obviously, the travel from anywhere in the States to Puerto Rico is going to be a lot easier than flying over to the UK.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, they have nearly sold out, and that is much to the surprise of many. And admittedly, I think when they first said, we're going to go for Wembley Stadium, my initial response was, and it's nothing against AEW, but WWE hasn't even gone for Wembley. They turned Wembley down, apparently, was the report.
Yeah, apparently the report was that Wembley weren't offering as much money as Cardiff did.
Yeah, so, and money talks, right? So,
yes.
But yeah, my first reaction was Wembley Stadium. That's a big, that's reaching really high.
It is.
But I suppose there are factors that you have to bear in mind. And one of them is the novelty of it. And again, it's nothing on AEW. There is factors that are strictly because of AEW. The novelty of it is that we are a little bit deprived of wrestling over here. American wrestling, we're deprived of over here. The British wrestling scene is really great. There genuinely are very good promotions over here. But you're spending a lot of time watching WWE. You've grown up probably with WWE. There are people, hardcore AEW fans, and those are going to be the ones that are going to splash all of that money to go to this show. I think that the novelty side of it alone, it's wrestling in Wembley Stadium. The first time wrestling's been held in Wembley Stadium since SummerSlam 92. But obviously that was a different Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
So, but Wembley. So it's still at Wembley, right? So there is that. I think the other thing, though, this is something that people aren't really talking about, but it is 100% a factor. The tickets to buy tickets for AEW All In has been infinitely easier than it was for the WWE shows. Specifically, the Money in the Bank coming up. It's kind of a nightmare.
It is trying to get a ticket because it'd be hard. Obviously, it's going to be harder because it's O2 and it's a smaller place. But trying to get a ticket, even for trying to get the SmackDown show as well, I think would be difficult. So
the problem is with the Money in the Bank tickets. So when they first gone up on sale, you do the pre-registration, so you're notified obviously when tickets go on sale. I think if I've got the order right, when they first went on sale, we were looking at kind of more the VIP packages.
That was mainly what it was.
It was mainly like your package deals, and they're really good deals mostly.
Yeah,
but you're talking quadruple figures. It's the cheapest was like 1,000 something. I think
like that.
It's a lot of money. Now, yes, it gets you front row seats, it gets you meet and greets, it gets you this whole kind of experience, which is fantastic again because of a novelty of a show coming over. It's not just a novelty for AEW; it's a novelty for WWE too, right? So, it's great if you've got the money, but we're cost of living crisis. You know what I mean? You're scared to put your light bulb on. I can't really. Well, it's not quite that bad, but you can't really justify spending all of that money to go and watch men and ladies in pants knocking each other about.
No. Just before we go there, to comment on here about has UFC been there? No, they only do O2. Maybe go up to Manchester Evening News, but O2 is basically the only place UFC done. But
yeah,
because you don't have like a big name apart from Conor McGregor, but he's Irish. You can't say there's a British fighter that can sell Wembley.
Michael Bisping at one point.
I don't think he would have sold Wembley though.
I would
give it if it was the right opponent.
You can say that about anybody.
Yeah,
I think really, but Bisping was kind of he was a big name. I think a lot more than people give credit for.
I don't think you've asked anyone name a UFC fighter. Bisping would be in the first name, probably not even the first five. McGregor would have been definitely the number one. Probably John Jones.
But the thing is, as well, though, it's not UFC's way of looking at it is going to be different, isn't it? And so, I suppose because the card that you're booking is different. Like you don't necessarily need to cater. You don't necessarily need to cater to a home crowd.
No, because they have. Like go back to UFC again. They have done English shows back in the day when it was probably like one British fighter, and they were like mid of the card. Like the first time they came to the UK, the main event was Matt Hughes versus Carl Newton. None of them were English, but it was at Albert Hall.
Yeah,
and there was one British fighter, and I think there were British fighters, but there was no like big name British fighters at that time.
But also, yeah, but I agree with that. Just because it's in your hometown, like if the big fight isn't with one of your hometown guys, then do you know what I mean? Your big money fights are on.
Yeah.
The big money is on the big money fights.
Well,
so you're not going to necessarily.
Well, GSP would regularly fight in Canada.
Yeah.
Anderson Silva only had when he was at his prime, probably 2, maybe 3 events at Brazil.
Yeah.
Where him headlining.
Which is mad. I mean, he's like pride of Brazil, and that was a long streak of dominance, really, for Anderson Silva. So you think in all that time that he was really at the top of that division, really should to only have, was it genuinely only 3 in Brazil? I thought it was 4.
When he was champion.
Oh, okay, when he was champion, I was going to say.
But there was loads of events in Brazil at one point, but because they had Jose Aldo and they had Han Barral. They had a lot of Brazilian fighters. We've had, for a long time, it was basically Bisping, maybe Dan Hardy in the UK or England at least, or that would challenge for the belts or the biggest draws. Now with Paddy the Baddy, but he wouldn't say that would be at Wembley. That would be probably Anfield, but
O2, yeah. I mean, those kind of arenas are typically. That's where you find the sporting events. Wembley's just there's a reason when wrestling's only been held at Wembley once, and again the difference being is that you booked that whole show. The world title is not even in the main event for that SummerSlam, because you're building it around the hometown guy, British Bulldog, going against Bret Hart, who intercontinental champion, so mid-card champion at the time, but still arguably probably the best on the roster.
Yeah.
The most over, one of the most over at that time, certainly getting there at that point in the early 90s, isn't it? But
this is the thing about this show is, are we expecting the main event to be a British person challenging MJF or whatever?
I don't think it needs that all the time. It doesn't. If the story's not there, then
because why would you do Clash of the Castle in Wales when the headliner is Scottish?
The idea is because it's UK, though, isn't it? It's easier to collectively put everybody together as the UK. It makes sense.
Yeah, but
it makes sense. But it's just, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, it is a factor. But Wembley Stadium alone is a big deal. But the tickets have been, and I think that again, it's hard getting these tickets now for Money in the Bank, because Money in the Bank is going to be held from the O2 Arena, which is only going to be around, like you said, 25,000.
I think it's less than. I don't know.
I'm kind of catering for the fact that the floor seating, because you can make a bit of room on the floor.
Yeah, because that's the thing about Wembley. It probably could hold 100,000 if they could.
Yeah, there's probably certain regulations in place, though, isn't it? To be from a safety aspect, but
because you imagine that the biggest crowd in Wembley could be AEW, not the FA Cup final.
That's mad. And WWE would force their hand. They'd have to come to try and beat that record. They'd have to.
They would.
The
fact they're doing is it Battleground the same time as Double or Nothing?
Oh, is it?
I think it's the same weekend.
Oh, that's a busy weekend for predictions, isn't it?
I'm going to win anyway, so I don't care.
I just don't want to slap you.
Be live on stream.
Yeah, it's tricky because you've got less tickets. You were looking at over 60,000 at Principality Stadium, and even then I got my ticket really late. And the biggest issue with it, and it's not really the promoters, it's not the venue, it's Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster is the ultimate evil of the I suppose of the performing artist world, really. Whether you go and see a concert, sport, anything that you need to get through Ticketmaster, they've got the monopoly, and they can just up those prices to ridiculous amounts. Like Blink 182 for the reunion tour, you were looking at, as soon as those tickets went on sale, did you see how much they were?
Didn't you say it was £200?
280 something pound. Yeah. That might be a little bit over, but it was over £200. That's mad.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? I'd go for nostalgia, but £200 that's a lot of meal deals. That's a lot of meal deals, I'll tell you that.
Which meal deal?
Well, just if you fancy it, you can. You've got your club card.
That's true.
50p off.
Yeah, and actually, I've been. This would be my second time to Wembley. First time was Metallica, like 2007, and where I stood was probably where the ring's going to be.
Yeah.
I was around the halfway line when I watched Metallica.
I've never been to Wembley. Ever. Any of the...
I never went to the old Wembley. I've been to Wembley Arena to see Sum 41.
Ah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago.
Yeah. No, that's a big factor. It does play into it. It doesn't help either with the WWE tickets is because they've done most of the... After they obviously did the VIP packages, the only kind of way to go was they're holding SmackDown on the Friday, of course, every Friday, but they're holding SmackDown from the O2 Arena the night before.
Yeah.
And so you had to then get tickets as a package. So you go to SmackDown and Money in the Bank. And I wouldn't have minded doing that necessarily, but a lot of people are working, you know, if we say the average job is Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't going to be able to get there for SmackDown. It ain't going to happen.
No.
I only wanted the ticket for Money in the Bank. Now, it is important to mention, obviously today's 17th, WWE announced this morning for the UK fans that any tickets, single tickets now are going to go on sale on Friday. So that'll be the 19th. So this coming Friday, a couple of days' time, the single tickets will go out. The problem that's going to happen with those is that they are going to go like that.
Exactly.
There's no way, because there's still such high demand. You've got, well, again, it was 63,000 people in attendance for Clash at the Castle.
Yeah, around that.
And you've got less than half of that now that you could possibly have as a sellout for the O2. It's just very, very bizarre. I don't understand why they did O2. I don't understand it. WWE at this stage could have brought, especially with, you know, because people got really high on the booking, WWE could have brought Capital Punishment and it would have sold out.
It made more sense.
They could have brought December to Dismember back and it would have sold out.
Don't do that.
Can you imagine? It'd sell out though, wouldn't it?
I think so.
It would. If they said December to Dismember is coming out and it's going to be held in Wembley Stadium and it's going to be Elimination Chamber, Bobby Lashley, get them all back in.
Don't do
Who else was in it?
CM Punk.
Okay, that's not going to happen.
Test.
That's unfortunately not going to happen.
Sabu. No, not Sabu. He got taken out by Hardcore Holly.
No, yeah. Van Damme was in there.
Van Damme was in.
Big Daddy V, wasn't he?
No.
No?
Who said so for that?
Test. Lashley.
Big
Punk.
Show.
Big Show.
Big Show.
Oh, yeah, Big Show.
Yeah, that's it.
Van Damme. There's one more.
Hardcore Holly.
You're just saying that.
Holly, Show, Punk, Test, RVD, Bobby.
Hardcore Holly was definitely in it.
Hardcore Holly was in it. It was meant to be Sabu, but they took him out.
You better not lie to me.
Well, that means watching.
Oh, I'm not watching that.
I'm not watching it.
I'm never watching that.
Unless it's a review, I'm not watching it.
That was enough to make me just think, do I like wrestling? I don't know.
Well, the fact that they did that the week after Survivor Series.
Yeah.
And then it was like 2 weeks later was Armageddon. It's not the best planning.
No, not brilliant, but there you go. Long time ago, though.
It is.
WWE is on a roll this year, so it is a shame because I think so far all of their PLEs have all been really high quality.
Yeah.
Top notch.
I mean, apart from most of Day 2 Mania, apart from when Roman retained.
You have to look at Mania as a show overall, though. And I think overall it was still a very good WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But, yeah, is what it is. Well, we'll see. We might still get tickets for it. AEW All In, we're going to be there. We're in different seats.
We definitely are there. Yeah, we're not going to sit next to each other.
No, I don't want to sit next to him anyway. No, this is enough. Like, honestly, pains me.
Deal with it.
Don't deal with it. But no, we're not. We just had to get... You said, because you bought yours off of Live Nation. And
yeah, which is basically Ticket Nation. It wouldn't never do 3, but let me do 2.
Oh, yeah. Well, I could have done... I had to, ironically got mine through Ticketmaster, but I've got them for the nosebleed seats because it's like £30. And that's not... But the thing is, that's not... I don't mind doing that because I enjoy the atmosphere as well. And I'll be able to see and stuff. But like, I enjoy the atmosphere.
I definitely know I'll be able to see. It's just...
Well, you're a little bit closer than me, I think.
Like to think
you should be because you paid quite a bit more.
Yep. 81 quid.
Money to burn.
But money in the bank.
Yeah. No, it's about 30 odd. But I got a couple of tickets and it's going to be the first wrestling show ever. So it's going to be an extra special one for me, but it's first ever show. I'm going to go with my dad. So I think that's going to be really cool because we've always like enjoyed watching wrestling and stuff, but we've never been to a wrestling show together before, so that'd be quite a nice experience, I think, really.
Yeah, it should be.
But yeah, not everybody's going to want those tickets again. It was on the cheap side. I think they're all gone now. It's only resale ones left, but not everybody is going to want that because some people need to be a bit closer up to really enjoy it because you want to watch more of what's going on in the ring. And again, you can see it, but it's for me it was the atmosphere, especially after Clash at the Castle last year. That atmosphere was it's like
kind of have the feeling now that every time like a big show or like any time you see like Will Ospreay's going to be at so and so show or whoever's going to be at this certain show, like you want to go now.
Yeah,
I think it's like kind of what's the word? Reinvigorated the love of going to see wrestling again for some wrestling fans.
That was really good. That was. You did well with that.
Yeah, I'm going to stop talking.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for that, really.
Yeah.
On the ticket side, there's not really anything else until we see what happens with the tickets, I suppose, which we will find out.
Yeah, and obviously we won't know any matches until after Double or Nothing. I reckon we'll get the first inklings of an
idea. So Will Ospreay's going to be there. We know.
Will Ospreay's going to be there. We know that for certain. We don't know who's going to face. I still say it's going to be him and Omega too, but it might depend on how the feud with the Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite go.
Yeah, I don't mind seeing it, but the other big one. Obviously, I don't want to do too much speculation because it's still really early. And I don't want to jinx it like what happened with Forbidden Door last year because it was just like, that match card completely changed, didn't it? But so I don't want to speculate too much. However, those rumours circulated about Nigel McGuinness filing the trademark for the name. He did put out a tweet about a week or so ago, didn't he? And again, you always have to take this with a pinch of salt because it's wrestling. You're meant to get worked. But he did say he feels like getting on the boots again. When these ticket prices, the ticket sales were going up. I'll be honest. If Nigel McGuinness has a match, I'd love for that to be Bryan Danielson. I mean, if he has a match, he has a match, and that's going to be great anyway. But there's a lot of really good stuff that you could do, and especially now that we've seen some faces come back to AEW for 10 years.
Well, I said this to you a few days ago. I think it'd be Bryan Danielson, versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, that would be cool.
But they might do that for Forbidden Door if.
Well, I would think they'd probably maybe want to do that for Forbidden Door because it's the match that should have happened last year, wasn't it? But not that what we got last year wasn't good. It was really good with Claudio. But yeah, early days for speculation. I think the only thing we can really probably say for certain is MJF's going to walk in as champ, and I think MJF's going to walk out as champ.
Yeah.
I suppose depending on who he goes up against, but Punk. I suppose a big part of all of that is going to depend on what happens with the latest announcement, which is AEW Collision, which is the new TV show that's going to air every Saturday on TNT. Has been announced is going to air. The debut inaugural episode is June 17th.
Yes.
This is kind of like a brand split, right?
Apparently so, but the poster's got all the champions. So it's all the champions going to be on one show.
You kind of have to have your champions probably appear on all of them, don't you? Otherwise, it's too similar to WWE.
So does this mean they have the normal title and have the interim titles back again?
I think we're probably over the interim stuff.
Plus, they don't need any more titles, do they? They've got way too many titles.
There's a lot of titles, and I don't know. I don't want to sit here and try and book it. It's not, fans. You got to watch it, right, and just try to enjoy what you like, and then what you don't like, I guess, just it's not for you, is it? But the only thing is, I think it's interesting how it's come about, and it's probably the narrative is obviously that Collision has come about as a I suppose a way of getting Punk back in without it being too much of a. It's still such a weird situation.
The fact that they've also advertised people like Thunder Rosa and Miro and Andrade's on the poster.
It's weird, because the kind of joke is that it's the people that either wanted to leave or that other people probably want to see gone. And they're all kind of like, not all of them, but like there's a big bunch of them that are just sort of seem to be ending up over on Collision.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like detention, isn't it? It's like the naughty step over on Collision. So anyone who misbehaves speaks out, goes over onto Collision, and I suppose like the Elite and again, that's the narrative, but the Elite and kind of all of those kind of people will be over on Dynamite. I can see some plus sides from it. I mean, again, when you look back at, there's been some shambles with the WWE draft.
Well, especially with the world title situation.
Wow. But over the years, it's not exactly always worked, has it? But I don't think there's many of us that can say, if you were there, obviously, when this was happening at the time, but when that initial draft happened back in 2002, like that was exciting stuff.
Kind of was.
It was. And as it started to roll and they kind of both became their own shows with their own identities, there was some really, really good stuff that happened there. So there's always potential. And AEW's at that point where they've got a big enough roster, they do need almost another show to kind of do it. The only thing that's strange is because they had another show in Rampage and it just wasn't.
No, apart from the first couple of episodes, it just died.
It just, it didn't. The biggest thing anyone's ever going to remember from Rampage, and rightly so, is going to be Punk's return because it was perfect.
But that was the first 15 minutes of that show.
Yeah. Well, which it needed to be. And whether you like Punk or not, in wrestling, that's a huge moment. And it was done really, really well. But I think the problem with it, again, over in the States, I think it's more of a time issue, like when it comes on.
It's that, and it's pre-tape, so people will know the results and probably don't care about it.
Yeah, the pre-tape thing never helps. But obviously, there's just a lot of content, because if you kind of want to watch everything AEW, then at one point you're going to be watching Dynamite, which is 2 hours. You've got an hour of Rampage, hour of Dark, I think, isn't it? Hour of Dark Elevation.
But they've gone. They've
gone now. And then also being the Elite, if you're going to go into that rabbit hole as well.
Yeah, and then there's the, what's it called, All Access?
All Access,
or whatever that's called. I mean,
it's a lot, but they've axed Dark Elevation. Rampage, from what I understand, is probably going to be like what that was. So kind of Rampage is kind of like NXT.
Yeah.
And then you've got Collision and Dynamite that are going to be like Raw, SmackDown. But the Black Sheep is almost kind of Ring of Honor. Because that's the weird one. It's kind of like it's just there, and we're getting really excited about it, but then it just took over the product too much on AEW, I think, wasn't it? Like everyone just had a bit of burnout with it. But now you've got your own show with it, like could that not be its own roster? I don't know.
Depends how they do it. Because they did on Dynamite a double Jeopardy match where it was Claudio versus Phoenix, wasn't it? And whoever won would change their respective titles.
That happened on Dynamite.
Yeah, so that could have easily done that in Ring of Honor, but as long as, because it's not like they're doing it every week now.
I suppose
but then again, so you've got Claudio, who's a champion that's still on Dynamite because of the storyline they've got at the minute.
I think you have to do some stuff on Dynamite to get people to over to watch Ring of Honor. Just because if there's going to be a lot of new Ring of Honor viewers, the numbers are on Dynamite. So if you kind of, do you know what I mean? So like if more eyes are on Dynamite.
Plus, I don't know how much.
It's tricky.
I don't know what figures Ring of Honor does. I don't even know. Is it on TV? Was it like
I've not seen any apart from like highlights, but I don't know if it's like the same as what it was before on a TV. If anybody watching knows, do drop in the comments below. But I don't know. I'd imagine.
I'd like to know if it's competing against Impact's ratings.
No, I wouldn't have thought it's competing against any ratings.
Because that's one thing. That's one good thing about them doing a Saturday show. Is that it's not, unless WWE decides to do Saturday Morning Slam again, or what was it called? Shogun Saturday Night.
Shotgun Saturday Night. That's a Vince Russo thing, isn't it? You're not going to bring that back.
Well, bring back Vince Russo? I don't think so.
Bring back Vince Russo, the greatest creative mind of all time. I don't know if I need to put disclaimers for when I joke or not. I mean, at one point he was. No, I'll stop there. All right, so
if it's
Collision.
Not on a poll.
If it's not on a poll, it's not worth booking. Collision. We'll see what that's like. We'll be checking it out when it comes out. But Backlash, we'll run through Backlash really quick because we watched it. It was a really good show. We said about the crowd, obviously, Puerto Rico on fire.
Yes.
And again, similar situation to over in the UK. You know, if you don't get it there too much, Last PLE in Puerto Rico, they said was 2005.
Yes, New Year's Revolution 05, which was
Triple H.
It was Triple H, Batista, Orton, Benoit, Edge. I know Shawn Michaels was the referee.
Hardcore Holly.
He probably was. Jericho? Oh, it was Jericho.
Yeah. Yes, it was. Yeah.
And it was. It's probably more remembered for the fact that the opening match had Eugene injured his knee, and then the next match Lita injured her knee. But then apart from that, everything else went fine.
Wow. They were really on it. They loved it.
Yes.
And they brought the opening match to another level. That was probably one of the biggest takeaways for me. We'll probably just say what favourite bits were from it.
That
opener, I think we can both agree on. I think the
opener was great.
We can agree on that, can't we?
Io
Sky and Bianca Belair. I forgot her name.
Yeah.
Io Sky and Bianca Belair. Bianca, I mean, interesting. That crowd was. I think everyone really does like Bianca because she's fantastic.
It feels like but it does feel like every time they're away from America, she gets booed.
I don't think people boo Bianca Belair as a person.
No, they don't.
It's just the idea of like we're in that long title reign phase where the WWE's updating the records with newer stuff. So you've got your Bianca Belair in there, the Usos, Roman, who gets all the heat anyway. Yeah. But it is weird because Gunther is still Gunther's still really over.
What's he on like 330 odd days as IC champion?
Yeah,
so I know it's over 300, and the record's like 452 or something stupid like that.
Let's see him break it. I'd love to see Gunther break
it. These records he's breaking is like any sport. Or any anything, records won't be there forever.
No,
it won't be like the most goal scorers or the most assists in a season, or like get the most points in one basketball game, or whatever.
Red Bull can't reign forever.
No, but the way things are going, it will.
Yeah, probably.
Like with
maybe get book Max Verstappen against Gunther. That's what we need.
Oh, I'd love to see that. But going back to UFC, the amount of times that the long Anderson Silva's reign as champion was long, but it will get broken eventually. I think John Jones got close.
Not every streak comes to an end, though.
Do you think there'll be another Undertaker's level streak?
Not in our
lifetime.
I can't see it personally.
We'll see.
I can see him trying to replicate one at one point because I don't see how you can't. Like if you go under the idea that WWE is then now forever.
Yeah.
No, you can't not try another streak. So, you probably could have another streak at some point, but it wouldn't be. You can't do anything because it's going to take a really long time to build. The biggest problem with trying to build a streak is you need someone who's going to have that longevity in the company.
Yeah, because
you never knew that was going to be Taker. I mean, they didn't even realize it was a thing until he got to 10. Like that's 10 years in.
Well, they did mention it, I think, after 6, but they did that the same thing with Edge when he was when he was against Undertaker about how he never lost, even though I think he did.
Yeah, but it was.
Edge when it was 20, his match with Taker.
24.
24. I think he said he never lost at Mania, even though he didn't win Money in the Bank the year before. But then,
I think they were going by pinned or made to tap out though. But yeah, it was Taker's thing. And remember, Taker never had the only time Taker had a match that wasn't 1-on-1 was 19, which I always found really strange. I prefer 1-on-1s and stuff, from a story aspect. But could you imagine if you had done Triple H, Shawn Michaels and Taker in a triple threat, and you've got that kind of could Taker's streak be broken and he's not even pinned kind of deal, as a threat. I don't know. Again, I'm not looking at that.
Go back to that Mania 19. Technically, he should have lost by DQ because David Jones wasn't in the match, and the referee just let him kick Big Show and A-Train. Just saying. Even though it's my favorite Mania all time. Can you imagine that?
It's a very good WrestleMania, but it's not the best of all time. We all know what the best of all time is. He
would have been 11-0 at the time, so imagine that.
Yeah, the streak coming to an end with a DQ, courtesy of Nathan Jones. Now, the greatest WrestleMania of all time, we all know, is WrestleMania 17. So, You can shake your head, but did you have My Way video hype package for Rock and Austin?
Well, Crack Addict.
Slightly different, though, isn't it? Can't get that song on any stream platform. I don't know.
That's annoying. The only time you could actually do it was on MySpace back in the day.
Oh, MySpace! Wow, what a time to be alive.
Obviously, you can YouTube it, but it's not the same.
Is if you've got what YouTube Premium? What?
Well, and it's still on a network, actually, isn't it? You don't get the full version.
Understandably so. But yeah, really enjoyed that. Bianca Belair and Io Sky was a big one for me. I really thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
Bad Bunny and Damian Priest was fantastic. I really enjoyed that. Bad Bunny's he's one of those. It's going to be
because when I was watching this, I was thinking Bad Bunny because Easy said, no bumps. I don't want to take any bumps because I've got a big career ahead of me. But he took a lot of stuff like that.
He took
Falcon Hour to the table. He didn't need to do that.
You can and you can pick certain bits apart and go, well, is it realistic for a non-wrestler to come in and be throwing Damian Priest? I mean, Damian Priest is a big bloke.
Yeah. So there is how big Bad Bunny was really.
He's in good shape, isn't he?
Yeah. But like height as well.
You can pick those things apart, but I don't know. Sometimes everybody likes different things in wrestling, and that's one of the best parts about it. There'll be some people it just isn't for them, and that's totally fine. People that love it, brilliant. You know, it's all variety show stuff, and it's entertaining, and I thought that was entertaining. Tad long, but it's really nitpicky. Well, I really enjoyed it. The only thing I probably would nitpick is that. And this was nothing against Cody and Brock, but
it didn't need
swapping them around, maybe.
I think we said at the time, didn't we, when we did predictions, it was like there was I don't think there was any need for Brock and Cody to be the main event.
Well, there isn't, isn't it? Like it's going back to what we said about Bunny, you don't just because you're in your hometown, you don't need the hometown guy to be the main event.
No, but you
Cody and Brock is a big money match. The only reason I say about maybe swapping it is in hindsight because of the finish, and I haven't got a problem with the finish, but it felt a little flat after the really exciting night that we had. And I think, and again, that was down to the Puerto Rico crowd for being just, dialed up to 11 the whole night. I still
think the best part of that match was before it started, where Cody just got in and beat Brock.
Brock sold anything for it, didn't he?
Well, Brock will sell anything for anyone.
Brock's such an underrated bumper.
Yes.
And so Brock's, I agree with you. I think this is probably the best Brock since. Because I really like Brock, the next big thing.
Yes.
But and then into kind of like 03.
The heel turn with Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
When he beat up Zach Gowen week after week.
Wow.
I don't think you would get away with that nowadays, but
there's a lot you won't see on there anymore. Yeah. But no, I really enjoy this Brock run. And again, for however long it lasts. But yeah.
Well, the fact we're going to have another Brock Lesnar match on a big show. How many times have we said that? Feels like he's been he'll do 1 or 2 in a row, then go away for 5 months.
Yeah. Well, mind you, I suppose because Saudi Arabia, the money is there.
Yeah. So, apart from when he had that long time off after Mania 37 and came back, did Summer Sunday next year. I don't think he's missed many Saudi Arabia. I don't think he's missed a Saudi Arabia show at all.
No, I don't think he has. There might be 1 or 2.
There probably is 1.
I think he probably has been. If I think of Brock though at Saudi Arabia, I just think him and Roman. I've constantly got him and Roman in my head.
What, the cage match?
The cage match is one. It probably only happened once, but I think there were so many Brock and Roman matches. It's just.
Oh no, they did another one, didn't they?
Was it?
I think they're in 2 Saudi. I think they did one where Heyman. Threw the belt in the middle of the ring. I think that was Saudi Arabia. I might be wrong.
God, it's all a blur now, isn't it?
Well, there's so many of them, but
if anyone watching knows, just pop it in the comments.
Yeah,
educate us. But yeah, that's overall Backlash was really fun, I'd say.
And we should mention Selena Vega's entrance was good.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. That was a really nice, wholehearted moment. I think with Selena. But again,
Carlito, and we had
Carlito. It's difficult because it's a little while again. It's old news, and better reviewers out there have reviewed it. So You know, go and check theirs out. But yeah, it was a fantastic show. I really enjoyed it, and it's another one in WWE's belt at the moment for top tier pay-per-views, PLEs. It's always going to be a pay-per-view.
Yeah,
it's always a
pay-per-view. We're not going to say All In. It's going to be a PLE. It's a PPV.
It's always PPV. But yeah, again, we won't. That's probably it for Backlash. Again, it's older news.
Yeah.
Reviews are out there. You can go and watch everybody else's reviews because they do it far better than we do. Because we're just gonna. I did enjoy it though.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
But I think it might be time.
Vader time?
It might be Vader time. Yeah, could be. It's time. If there's anything at all down in the comments, we'll open the floor up for probably 5-10 minutes. Anybody's got any comments? Anybody wants to talk? Any abuse?
Yeah.
Anything at all? And then we'll just kind of talk whatever really in the meantime. But it is time while if anybody is going to comment, but I'm going to give you this episode's edition of FMK. So we've got to keep it PG. All right. Because
we still haven't got a name for it. It's just
we're going to go for FMK. I'm sure people know what FMK is. So can't, YouTube, don't want the YouTube police coming down. But we pick 3 matches. So I'm going to pick 3 matches. And you can play along as well in the comments if you want to. You're going to pick one that you will watch forever. Forever and ever and ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the only one you have to watch forever, but you watch forever. You've got one that you can only watch once, but it is live, and then it's done. That's the thrill one, so you can imagine which one that is. And you've got one that you will never ever be able to watch again. We were going to call it Then Now Forever, but
we did, but it
really makes sense.
It doesn't make sense.
So yeah, that's what we got. So we'll still call it FMK for now until anybody's got any better ideas for us. So the 3 matches are going to be as followed. You've got Bret Hart versus Owen Hart, WrestleMania 10.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Daniel Bryan versus Bryan Danielson. I've done it now as well.
Yeah.
She did. Bryan Danielson versus MJF Iron Man match from this year. And you've got CM Punk versus John Cena Money in the Bank 2011. All very kind of different matches, but I would say they're kind of must-see matches. If you were going to tell somebody that maybe didn't get in a wrestling, like there's so many matches you can give to somebody and say, if you want to get into wrestling, watch XYZ. Because you know what my go-to was once upon a time when I was trying to get people to watch wrestling? It was always Undertaker Mankind, King of the Ring 98, the Hell in a Cell.
See that?
Just for the sheer insanity of it, because people would watch it, and it was mainly the people that would, because as a wrestling fan, you're always going to get the, you watch that fake stuff, do you? It's like, yeah, I do, yeah. What do you watch? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I do. But do you want to watch this and see how cool it is? And then you see a man get thrown off of a cell, and it's like, maybe he faked it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a good one. It's a good one to show. But there are 3 matches I'd probably give to somebody and just be like, have a look. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So watch forever. Bret Owen.
Okay. There's not really a right or wrong to this, is there?
Watch once the Iron Man.
And be there live for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then obviously
you'd never ever see Punk and Cena again.
No.
Cool. Okay. I'll say.
No, I don't like that match. I just think it's
that was amazing. When we watched that live, that was incredible. That was a good show as well.
It was a very good.
Overall,
very good show.
The rest of the card gets a little bit it's lost in the wind.
Yeah,
really,
because who'd have thought Mark Henry and Big Show would have been as good as it was back then.
Let's go on record, right? Mark Henry Big Show matches in that era were actually really good.
Yeah, it was one of the better views that year.
Yeah, you honestly, you can, people kind of crap on it a lot, but like I really enjoyed it. The Mark Henry Hall of Pain stuff was really good.
Yes,
I enjoyed that. But yeah, all right, I'm going to say the watch once and then never again, but live in person. I'm going to say Punk and Cena.
Okay.
Because that Chicago crowd and Chicago's always obviously kind of notorious for being like an amazing wrestling crowd. You know, most of the time, like they are kind of the gold standard almost, really. I don't know. We're next to New York as well. It depends on it, but I think to be live in the crowd for that would have been insane.
Well, you know who was in that crowd? Colt Cabana.
You had to go there, didn't you?
Yeah.
Can't let it rest.
Leaving the fans online.
But yeah, that would have been amazing just to be there in that atmosphere, I think. You know, with everything going on at the time. Obviously, you kind of knew it was work, but it was done so well. And
yeah,
you know, he was white hot. I think forever I'd probably watch. Well, I would. Forever I'd watch Brett and Owen. And sadly, yeah, it'd be the Iron Man.
I can understand
Brian and MJF that I'd never see again.
Sometimes matches that go for a long time, you don't want to watch.
It's not even that. Like I watched that match back again recently, and I genuinely think, I don't want to be a bit ahead of it, but I genuinely think it might be my favourite Iron Man match I've ever seen. Genuinely.
It's up there.
It's really, really good. Because weirdly, I was thinking about this, because we did talk about this a couple of months ago, and I was thinking, I think my favourite one before probably was, weirdly, Lesnar and Angle.
Yeah, it's probably the best one since there, because there's been a few Iron Man matches like since that Brock Angle, like Benoit and Triple H on Raw, which is okay, but watching it on Raw when you got breaks, obviously like the Angle was on SmackDown, but it flowed better, I feel. And I wasn't a big fan of the Orton Cena one from 2009. You remember that one? The Falls Count Anywhere?
That whole period is a blur though, because it was just Cena Orton forever.
Yeah, because this was one of those. It was a match where if Cena loses, he's off Raw, which was never going to happen. But what was it? I can't remember the show it was. It might have been Bragging Rights. No, it was Bragging Rights. 2009. But it was just long periods were just like slow. Although it did have a moment we enjoyed because you kind of invented it, the RKO at the AA.
Yeah, just to make that perfectly clear, that was don't try this at home, and everybody tries it at home.
Yeah,
but yeah, the actually just went into RKO. That really hurt my head. I still remember it now. Damage was done, I tell you.
Yeah, I suppose you can remember it.
Just about.
All right, so
you've got a game, haven't you?
I haven't got anything with me.
You didn't even bring it?
No.
First live episode, you didn't even bring it?
No, because I thought we weren't going to do that. And I thought it was going to be like a...
What gave you that impression?
I don't know. Just felt like it.
Unbelievable.
But it's my turn to give you 3 matches.
Come on then.
Okay. So I will go for Extreme Elimination Chamber.
What?
The Extreme Elimination Chamber.
What?
Extreme Elimination Chamber.
Which one was that? December to Dismember?
Yes.
You're going to give me bad ones?
Yes.
I gave you good ones.
So they can't all be good, can they?
All right. Negative Nancy. That's one.
The Elimination Chamber IC title one from, I think, 2015.
What's that? Barrett,
Mark Henry.
I don't really remember.
It's the one where the pod breaks. Mark Henry's pod breaks, and then he walks out because he's not meant to.
Oh, okay. I remember that, but I don't really remember the match.
Oh, all right,
that much. No, you got to carry on now. Commit to it. You asked for this.
And the tag team one the same day.
The tag team one.
Yeah, the new New Day.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm going to go rogue.
Go on then.
To watch live in person once and then never again. December to Dismember. I don't want to. I'd love to know what was that atmosphere like in there,
because it was a very small arena as well. It's not like it was like nearly 6,000 people there.
I think I'd go for that just for punishment. I just want to see if I could handle it.
I mean, to give it credit before I say it, there's some good stuff in that match. It's not all bad. It's just that it's put on a bad shot.
Yeah, but you can say that about lots of things, isn't it? There's always going to be something that you can find that you like.
Yeah.
I think Watch Forever, probably the tag one, and Never Again the IC which is a real injustice to that one because it should have been December to December. But like I said,
It was the
that was punishment.
I bet you don't. Do you even know who won that match?
Which one?
The IC title one.
I don't remember. Was it Barrett?
Ryback.
Oh, it was Ryback. Yeah. Oh, Ryback. Forgot about Ryback. Feed me more. It's I don't know if he has. Well, mind you, I'm quite quiet on social media these days because it gives me a headache. But when I was kind of a bit more active, I think Ryback was. He said something that upset everybody again. I can't remember what it was.
It can't be a Rick Steiner type thing, is it?
What you mean? What happened just before the Hall of Fame? No, I don't think it was that. It wasn't.
No, all I know about Ryback is he keeps teasing about returning, but then he did that poll where it's like, where should I be? Should I be WWE, AEW, like New Japan, or retire? And I think most of it was retire.
He did that a few times.
He's done it a few times, and it's still the same.
I think he must know that that's he's going to get those, and he probably does it for. Oh, you got to give him credit. Like he stayed somewhat relevant, despite not being in a wrestler. I mean, because how many matches he wrestled? Where was he wrestled? Last few years, he actually had a match against Colt Cabana. Where was that?
I don't remember.
That was in the last.
It was a couple of years ago now. I remember that happening.
5, 6. Oh, it might be 5, 6 years because I'm still kind of stuck in 2020.
Well, he left WWE in 2016.
So long ago.
Yeah, it was after Mania 30. It was like a couple of months after Mania 32.
Wow. Okay. So it was maybe not long after that then.
Yeah, because obviously it must have been after the Punk Cabana split up. As in like friends, not as like in a couple. Because obviously Ryback had
probably after their lawsuit.
Yeah, because it must have been because the lawsuit, and you had the Ryback was mentioned about why Punk left with the knee injuries and that kind of stuff.
Oh, Ryback. Well, I guess we'll end it on Ryback.
No, there's no better way of ending. I don't.
There's no better way of ending it.
But I would say, well, before that. I was a fan of Ryback. I had his shirt in 2012.
You had his shirt?
Yeah, in 2012. Yeah. The Feed Me More.
Why?
Because I was a fan at the time. That was the same time. That was the time I bought a lot of shirts. I had the Bad News Barrett. I think I still got that one. Might be wrong.
That was all right. That was good.
I had the Zack Ryder.
Yeah, but when Ryder blew up, that was everybody had that.
Punk had a few Punk shirts. I don't know.
Yeah,
I had a few. I had the Chicago Money in the Bank one.
Oh, the best in the world.
Yeah. I had a long period of time when I bought a lot of wrestling shirts, and I just do Wrestle Crate to get my wrestling shirts.
Yeah, you can check out our unboxing videos. They'll be somewhere on the channel. But yeah, we'll have to. Well, we will say actually in about. It's going to be a few weeks' time. We'll be at 1PW over in Lincoln. Main event looks like that's going to be Matt Cardona. He's just brought him up, but Matt Cardona versus Will Ospreay. So that's going to be. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be really good. But yeah, we'll be over in Lincoln for 1PW, and obviously we'll be at All In. So
yes,
and maybe at Money in the Bank, but it depends because those tickets will go.
And judging by the bracket, I'd love to be in a Super Strong 16 in progress.
Yeah, I might be at Rev Pro the day before as well. The prices are a bit. Some of them, I think that's the trouble. It could be a really expensive weekend.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of wrestling going on. That's great.
There's a local show, Stratford, in there this Saturday that we were looking at. Come with the company.
Well, there's always you've got your local promotions.
Yeah.
But around in the London area, Progress with Defy, Rev Pro. I'm sure there'll be a lot of others as well, but I think they're all going to be.
ICW is still about, but that's mainly up Scotland way.
Well, it's on the day before All In.
Oh, is it?
What?
Oh, I thought we were talking about.
Yeah.
I'll just say. No, I was just saying like ICW is still about like you could go there if you could.
No, I mean,
but I don't think it's this. I don't think it's the same as it was a few years ago. But you can say the same thing about Progress and all the stuff before pandemic.
Everything changes and Ash doesn't feel the same. Is that copyright?
Might be.
Well, I think we will end it there now because otherwise it's going to go on a tangent. So,
yeah,
that's episode, live one. I guess we've done it without a hitch so far. We'll get better. We need to sort out a little bit of a set, don't we, really?
No, I think it's fine as it is.
All right, then. Well, we won't do that then. So we'll catch you again for another episode. We'll be next week. We'll try and drop these weekly now. Keep your eyes peeled. He's got a review coming out when I finish editing it.
Yes.
Cool. That's my brain doing it, but I'll do it.
It's not good. I just
it's not good. Watch the video, but it's not good.
Yeah.
That'll be coming out soon. We'll have loads more coming out as well. We just dropped the unboxing videos that were a little bit delayed. By a couple months.
It's not long until Night of Champions or Clash of Champions, whatever it's called this time.
Yes, so we'll have our predictions coming out for those as well.
Hey, another comment.
Daryl has given us Love Heart Eyes. I think I want to say that's a whale, but it's probably a man and a hand. And I know exactly what I want him to do with that hand. So thanks, Daryl.
Make more riffs.
Make more riffs, yeah. Big fat riffs.
And solos. Might need a new song next year.
The things I want to say to you that I can't because it's PG, and I've tried so hard this whole video to not blurt them out. This is like customer service face I've put on for this whole thing. The whole thing's a charade. As soon as that camera goes off, I'm going to rip into you. Yeah. Exactly how you think. No, we appreciate everybody coming along. Thanks so much for checking out the podcast video. The sound audio version will be available on all your streaming devices as well. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can leave 5-star reviews on there. You should do.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, you should. Yeah, do that.
Do it.
And a like, a subscribe, anything like that. We'll be back again. And until next time, stay safe, look after each other, and we'll see you again soon.
Bye.
Is that what we got? Bye. Goodbye.
Yeah. Got a problem with that?
You wait till this camera goes off.
I don't think that ended.